Everybody, and welcome to Element 10. Today we're talking about security. Since we talked about anxiety and fear in the last element, now we're doing the flip side of that, and that is security. So starting with the definition, state of being free from danger or threat. So I would say that that's being free of anxiety and fear, right? Another one is being safe. So when we look at being safe, that means that we've controlled things enough to where we believe that we are safe, because it's really just a state of mind. Safe is, in my opinion. So security is the same. We also, I know me personally, spend a lot of time controlling circumstances to make myself feel safe and secure. So when I do that, I limit natural avenues of expansion or progression for myself, all with the belief that it's in my best interest. So it's keeping me safe. And I think that that's where the shadow starts creeping into being safe, is it's a false sense, and that you're always safe. No matter what happens, you're always safe. So when we look at the shadow version of this element, it's a limiting factor, because, as I said, you insulate yourself, and you in the past, when I've talked about how you receive energy in and it's through a filter, I believe that that filter you create to keep yourself safe. So it skews how you see things. And that's why everyone has their own version of safety. And just as everyone has their own version of a lot of these elements. But in this particular case, what's safe for one person might be fear and anxiety for another person. So that's important to keep in mind when we're talking about this, especially from the shadow perspective, is you can be so safe that you cease to function. And I would definitely say that that's a shadow aspect of this element. It's one that sometimes we use as like a safety net, like, oh, I have this feeling that I won't be safe if I do that, so I'm going to pass on that. And that's based on probably checking in with your fear and anxiety to say, ooh, will that invoke those? Okay, then know that I don't want to do that. So I definitely see how those play hand in hand. But when you look at again, the shadow side of this security, I take television commercials, for instance, that it's like, you're not safe unless you buy my product, or you're not safe unless you eat this, and it's all that manipulation and motivation to get you to do something so you'll feel safe. So I feel that that's an easy way to see the shadow side of security. I know when I was looking up definitions, that it kept going into, excuse me, data security, and all the things that are done and products available to keep your data safe. It's just another facet of the whole being safe. And, if we all really came into that wholeness, everybody would have access to everything. And so there really is no security as far as that goes. So I know that this is supposed to be the light side of this particular pair, whereas fear and anxiety is the dark side. So we've looked at the shadow version of this light side being, it's controlling and it's limiting. But there's also the fact that you gain a sense of security. And as you come more into your authenticity, that's where your security becomes anchored, and it becomes totally different, because it's not an avoidance of fear or anxiety. and it becomes just being naturally who you are. And I think that once we come to this seeing these two for what they really are, and understanding the shadow aspect of both of them, it really diffuses the power they have to play in our lives and manipulate us. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the clearing statement. I remember and accept all aspects of security as perfect and part of the whole picture of my divine creation. I now allow this to holographically come together in completion and resolution with ease and flow, and gratitude for the lessons it has provided and are now complete. I just like how it ties that up in a nice package, especially when we're on the second day of this pairing, about how it just completes that whole duality of those two items. So let's sit back, close our eyes, take a nice deep breath. Join me in the oneness, out in wholeness. Connect in. And from this place of wholeness, set your intention to connect into the vibration of the statement that we just read. And allow this to be your home and where you create from. Okay, one more deep breath. I heard a lot of collective grumbling there in the beginning saying, how dare you take this security from me? How dare you take my need to be safe away? So that one, I'll probably need to go back and do that one again, at least one more time. Oh, that one was surprisingly resistant. So, post video affirmation for today. I acknowledge and accept all aspects of security as perfect and part of the whole picture of my divine creation with ease, joy, and love. Oh, yeah. All right. Thanks so much for joining today. And I look forward to seeing you again. Our next two are hierarchy, power, and equality and inequality. So that should be a good one. All right. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.